Welcome to the Women in Investing podcast, Champions with Checkbooks, where the members of our network talk about their investment journey, their learnings, and white spaces in the market that are waiting to be disrupted. Women in Investing is a community of capital allocators and venture capitalists. We were founded in 2017 to create a platform for women investors, and we're excited to say that after hundreds of meetups, masterclasses, mentoring programs, and collaborations, we're over 400 members strong. We hope you enjoy and benefit from these conversations.
Hi, welcome to Champions with Checkbooks, the Women in Investing podcast, where you'll hear from our members on their journeys, investment thesis, and hot deals. I'm Maya Chandrasekaran, representing the WII network. Our guest today is Rema Subramanian, co-founder and managing partner at Ankur Capital. Rema and her co-founder Ritu were some of the earlier women GPs in India with a focus on early stage deals, and we're really excited to have her join us today. Welcome, Rema.
Thanks, Maya, for having me over. Pleasure.
So we'll start off with a little rapid fire just to get the ball rolling. How long have you been an investor or a capital allocator?
About 12 years.
That's a long period of time. So what keeps you excited about the job?
Well, when you look at entrepreneurs coming up with ideas, every day is a new day with a new idea. I don't think you could get a job which is more exciting than that.
And what part of the job still surprises you after 12 years?
The fact that you never thought that there could be an entrepreneur who would think of solving a problem where you have learned to live with it. And the fact that they're coming up with new solutions is what surprises me, that there's still so much left to be do. We don't realize the frictions that we have in our day-to-day lives.
Are there any investors whose work you really admire?
Lots of investors before us. We couldn't be here without, whether it's science, whether it's technology, whether it's businesses, entrepreneurs, people who have given them the capital. In India, I would say that folks such as Axel have been at the forefront, and they've really helped build this ecosystem. Internationally, there are lots of folks who really back early stage science. It's really impressive to look at them.
And for people who are looking to build a career in investing, what's the one piece of advice that you'd give them?
You have to be constantly learning.
I hear that a lot.
Learning never stops, and I keep kicking myself every day for not being able to keep up with it or falling behind in the learning. And you never know what you don't know. It's a delicate journey of being able to look at the future. You're taking bets on something that could become viral over a period of 5-8 years. Especially for us as investors, we have consciously not been momentum investors. When you want to invest, to be into category creating areas, and you're looking at taking bets on something that's coming up, that's just at the inflection point, and that's something that could become the way of life. That's a harder call to take, and that there is no straight books of where you can go and learn that, but it's more of hearing what other people are saying, what the entrepreneur is saying, and then also trying to learn from it, trying to take a considered call. One of the key things is to see about how science is progressing, consumer behavior, whether they will embrace new technology, adopt.
That sounds, I would say bang on, especially for the type of investing that you do. One thing that people would be surprised to learn about you.
I'm quite non-conformist in many ways, and that's something that I keep looking at. How do I keep doing new things all the time? And of course, everybody knows me as being a very aggressive person as well. I love doing different things, whether it's travel, whether it's gardening, whether it's arts and crafts, whether it's reading. I would love to have things to do for multiple lifetimes.
I think that's very cool. And I actually do believe the non-conformist part is kind of key to being a great investor. It's where you are able to see things differently from the rest of the world. So with that, I think it'd be great to understand a little bit about your journey to becoming an investor, because I know, and I would like the rest of the audience to really know that you've had a very interesting kind of varied career, and so it would be great to hear about how you got here.
When I finished my college, there were some traditional careers that people looked at, and I didn't want to get into any of those. And so I went into management accounting, which is more of from a factory perspective. And that actually was a problem because many factories wouldn't let me in because they didn't have toilets for women. I always wanted to keep myself abreast of what's happening. And so, I moved on to when the IT sector boom stopped around the mid 80s. So that's when I moved into that. Then I moved into ITES, which was an IT enabled services to try to look for new sectors that are getting automated and digitized. That was I was an entrepreneur for some time. Worked in some great companies as well. I moved to the internet space when that was picking up. My journey has been more towards looking at new upcoming areas and technologies and see how I could be part of that. Ritu and I had met early part of the last decade, around 2010, 20. And we saw internet penetration was happening, and we knew it was only a matter of time before it would go into the hinterland. And we wanted to look at which were the areas that was untouched and where there was less capital going in, because that you weren't a momentum investor, but you were looking at new categories. And that's why we decided to take a bet on agritech, health. And so we decided to first start investment from our personal and friends and family before we set it up as a fund in 2014. And we were among the first funds that were looking at agri space from a technology perspective, taking bets on cutting edge technology, and even in health, looking at technology-led health initiatives.
That's a great segue. So it helps us understand what Ankur looks at an overall level. Are there specific areas or themes that you look at personally within Ankur, and where do you see the opportunities for entrepreneurs?
So at Ankur, we're sector agnostic, and we have two pillars basically. Looking at the fact that one is deep science led solutions that we could back as one, and the other is from the digitization itself. One which rides on data and how data is used for coming up with new solutions. So whether it is embedded finance or whether it is using satellite data to offer parametric insurance, the whole movement towards non-chemical based solutions, whether it's manufacturing or the biotech space, is just the next, similar to ChatGPT. The biotech space is going to be the next big thing. Whether it is in terms of the way in which manufacturing takes place, or the way in which our food is grown, or food is consumed, or the way in which the feed is handled, or the way in which health solutions are offered to us. I think we are not even in the 0 to 1 stage of that evolution. The scientific advancements in the spaces that have happened in the last 1.5 decades is still to unfold in terms of how that could translate into use cases. I think those are the opportunities that we are excited about day in and day out. So, let me give you an example of sports. We've invested in a company which is called a Sport World, which digitizes sports matches that can be played at local levels. And today, for talent managers looking for new talent, one is the larger leagues, larger premier colleges, premier clubs where they will have access. But there's a whole lot of talent that is perhaps the maidans and grounds that are across the country, and these don't get highlighted at all, right? And this company actually enables. They don't get covered. So the access or the visibility for the talent managers to these is very, very minimal. So whereas this company has sporting technology that enables you to broadcast even with minimal amount of equipment and can actually help stream it of high quality. While they started doing it in India, There is there's a whole demand for them from countries such as South Africa, the US, China. Today, believe that sports is one of the biggest employment generator. Whether it is for the physiotherapists, for sports physios, for trainers, for coaches, for the equipment manufacturers, for the school teachers, because once these get popular, there's so many job opportunities apart from the players themselves, right? And so then they get highlighted. Then that gives them a career path into corporate sector as well. So just the opportunity of sports as a industry is huge. And I'm talking of physical sports. And we still don't know how the entrepreneur is going to think of some very, very interesting ideas. I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah, I think that's incredible because that's probably a space that not a lot of us have thought about. So kind of switching topics a little bit over here. Obviously, the whole world right now is talking about the liquidity crunch, contraction in the market. What does that mean for both funds and for the portfolio companies? Would love to hear your take on that.
So obviously, it's not very happy times for whether it's investors or entrepreneurs because our funding cycles have got extended. And it's a change, right? When the entrepreneurs feel that they haven't been getting funded, need to understand is the fact that investors are also facing the same challenges in the value chain. But it's also an opportunity the moment that you have constraints that you think of innovative ideas as well. People who are true entrepreneurs are first excited by their idea.
Yeah.
And you have science making strides and you have disruptions waiting to happen in the whole manufacturing sector, which is moving from chemical to bio-based technologies. There's a whole way in which our food is going to be grown, the way in which health is delivered to us. So science is waiting to be exploited, for want of a better word, to come up with those use cases. So there are entrepreneurs who are thinking about it in laboratories and in colleges. And once you're driven by the solution, you can obviously always find ways and means to do it. You always, if your idea is truly disruptive, you will find people who would be willing to back you. And I think we are really at exciting times because of the technology breakthroughs that have happened. The sciences, the technologies have been established. It's the use cases that have to be developed. So I see this as a large opportunity for entrepreneurs.
That's fantastic. And that's a really, I would say, great note to end it on, which is that exciting times, lots of opportunities. Constraints are actually food or fodder for really great entrepreneurs, is what I'm taking away from this. So, Rema, it was really fantastic speaking to you. Thank you so much for sharing both your journey, a little bit about your contrarian approach, which I think really feeds into being a great investor. So, with that, that's a wrap for this episode of Champions with Checkbooks. In the coming weeks, we'll be bringing you more interviews with people who lead deals and set funding mandates. So stay tuned. And if you have any interview suggestions, send them our way. Once again, thank you, Rema.
Thanks, Maya, for having me again. And thanks for building Women in Investing Network. That's a great place. And it's really, as an entrepreneur, I think you've done a great job in starting that off. More power to you.
Okay. We will very happily take that shout out. So thank you, Rema. And this is Maya Chandrasekaran for the Women in Investing Network.
This podcast is produced for information and community building purposes. If you wish to learn more about our network, please reach out to us through the links in the show notes. Thank you for tuning in and see you another time.